Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Julia. So in today's video, we are going to be recreating this beautiful lace kaftan. Here is my lace fabric. I'm folding it into two, as you can see. I'm using the hip measurement I'm working with divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch for ease and another 2 for seam allowance. That's for the back, for the front, and then for the back another 1.5 for zip. So here now I'm just trying to mimic that design in front of the dress. For some reason it was very important to my client, so I just joined the edge of the lace to kind of mimic that part of the dress. That is what I did for the front. The back piece here now, like I said, hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch is 2 inches of allowance and 1.5 for zip. But here I ended up using 1 inch for zip because I'm not turning this with a lining, so I am marking just 1 inch for zip allowance. This is a lace, so I'm using my ruler now to connect that 1 inch all the way to the hem. So for the length, just use your length plus extra 2 inches. This is a sample lace, quite long, about 60 inches in length. So for the back, after joining that part so that it kind of looks similar to the one on the thumbnail, I'm now placing that point. I will assume that's the center point. So that line where I made that stitch is sitting on the zip allowance. So if you're not going to be doing any of this, just fold your front piece into two and place it exactly on that zip line that we made. So I'm ruling a line at the top, which is going to serve as our starting line, and then from there I will mark the half length plus half inch, then the hip line plus half inch, and then the length of the dress plus extra 2. Next, from that front piece, I'm marking the shoulder I'm working with divided by 2, which is 7 here, and then I'm marking the armhole of 8 inches. So I'm using a ruler to connect, and then I'm going to mark 3 inches in from the front piece and then half inch down on the armhole line to slant the shoulder. Next, from that line I will mark the midpoint of the armhole, and then I marked half inch in. I connect that back to the shoulder and then use my armhole curve to connect the armhole. Next, now I'm going to be marking my measurement starting from the front piece. Bust divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch for ease, I'll mark, and then mark extra 2 for seam allowance. The same here, the half length divided by 4 plus 1 inch is, and then another 2 for allowance. Here I'm marking the hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch of ease, and then another 2 inches as seam allowance. So I'm connecting all these points together, and then we are going to go on ahead and mark the same measurement we have on the hip to the length of the dress. So from the hip we are going to take it all the way down. Next we are cutting, as you can see. I went ahead now to mark the neckline. I forgot to mark the neck. So for the back I'm using 1 inch, for the front I'm using 3 inches. The width is still 3, so 3 by 3 in the front and then 3 by 1 for the back. Next, I'm marking the yoke. I marked 6 inches for the yoke from the shoulder. I should have marked it before cutting out the neckline, but yeah. So now we are going to slant the back, tighten the back. So on the waistline I went in by half inch. I'm just going to slant it out to any point. Really, there's no measurement. I didn't measure anything, I just slanted it out. But what you can do is come down from the shoulder by 9 inches and then 22 inches down from the shoulder for where to stop. So I'm opening the back piece all the way down. Next, I'm going to take out the back. I'm marking a new zip allowance now. Since we have taken out that half inch, we need to replace it. So this new line is where the zip is going to sit, and then we'll close the remaining of the back. So from the shoulder, from the neckline to about 22 inches, that is where the zip is going to stop, and then we'll close the rest. And it's also going to have a slit at the back. So now I am cutting out the front neckline, and then I'm cutting out the yoke. So that is it now. I also went ahead to trim this excess that I joined on the inside. This is what the center front is going to look like. Next, I'm placing this yoke piece on a fresh fabric to cut out another yoke. You know, it has a keyhole, so I'm just going to place it now, making sure that that line is my midpoint, so it's sitting on the fold. All of this will not be necessary if you are not trying to join anything in the front. So I'm adding half inch on the lower part, as you can see. Then we'll cut out the remaining parts, including the neckline and the shoulder. So next we are going to make a curve like so, which is going to be the keyhole that you saw on the thumbnail. I didn't measure anything. I just made sure I had 1 inch on the upper part and 1 inch on the lower part. 1 inch left of space. Next, I'm going to cut out the yoke on this skin tone net to use to turn it out. So I'm just going to cut it just as it is, the same as the keyhole. So next I'm going to place the net on top on the right side of the yoke piece, and then we're going to go sew round that yoke using 1/4 inch round. I also have a long strip of fabric that is 5 inches wide, and then the length is about 60 inches. So I had two pieces. I'm going to go join together and then fold on one side. We're going to use that for the ruffles on the chest line. So my camera was not focused here and I didn't notice, but I guess you can see a bit of what I'm doing. After joining the sewing around the keyhole, I'm turning it to the wrong side, and then we're going to iron that part. I'm so sorry about this footage, please. I just use my iron to iron it so that it is smooth. So now the skin tone net is now back to the wrong side and it's a bit clean now. Next we are going to go make pleats round that yoke, making sure that there's excess hanging on both sides, and then we'll place the right side of the lower part of the front on top of it like so. Then we'll sew them round and you will see. So this is the back. I've joined the zip allowance and I have ironed it. We're going to be adding a zipper to it later on. And for the down part, like I said, there's going to be a slit and you will see. So the front now, this is what we have. That's the keyhole and then the ruffles on the shoe. You can see that it's hanging all the way to the both sides of the upper piece. I also pushed the same allowances down and I opened up the ruffles to top stitch so they lay flat, and I also ironed. Next now we are going to go join the front and the back pieces together using the 2 inches of allowance that we left, and then we join the shoulder using half inch. After that, this is what we have. It's what the dress is looking like. Next we are going to cut out the sleeve. So I'm measuring the armhole now. You're going to use that measurement to cut out the sleeve. The sleeve is in two parts. So the first is a pencil sleeve. So that's the one that we're going to be cutting first. I'm going to use that measurement we got from the armhole plus extra 2 to fold my fabric like so. And then I came down by 4 inches on this open end and then 3 inches from the folded side. I made a curve and then I blended out. Next, I'm measuring around that point so to be sure that I have until I get to where I have the armhole measurement and then I add extra 2. Now marking the length of the upper part, I used 8 inches, so I marked 9. The one is going to be for seam allowance. Then the bicep round measurement divided by 2. I marked that and then I marked another 2 inches for allowance. So this is for one sleeve. I'm going to place this now and cut the second sleeve. Now the lower part of the sleeve is going to be straight. It's going to be gathered into that point. So the original has 3 steps, but I'm going to be having only 2 steps. And also the edge of the lace is what was used as the hem. My lace does not really have any edge, so we're going to just be folding that up as you would see. But if you're using a lace that has a hem that is fashionable, you can make sure cut your straight pieces in a way that they fall within that edge is showing. So here now I have 10, which is the width, which is the length, and then the width is times 3. So the bicep is 10, so times 3, that is 30. I have 2 because we have 2 sleeves. Then the other one is shorter by 3 inches. So if you're having a third one, you have a third one that is shorter than the second one by 3 inches as well. So I've folded and I've joined the rough pieces together. I've also joined the sleeve together as you can see. Next we are going to gather that piece. We'll start with the short one first. Gather it round the sleeve and then gather the second one. And then we go ahead and join it to the dress. I've also added a zip here as you can see. Now using this lace piece, we are going to go on now and finish our neckline using that strip. We'll sew from the right side, turn it to the wrong side and then top stitch. Next I'm going on to open the down part, then stitch it up there. It's on the knee line, so the knee point shoulder to knee, then you come up by 2. After that I will hem the lower part and the dress is ready. See here the neckline is finished. This is the front, that's the keyhole. This is the lower part, the slit is now opened and then the down part is hemmed as you can see. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is it on how to make this beautiful lace kaftan. I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and leave a comment if you have any question. I will see you in my next one. Thank you again for watching. Bye.